What if every financial decision you've ever made wasn't entirely your own? Behind the scenes. This isn't just economics. We're about to dissect the invisible architecture controlling your prosperity. What if everything you've been told about building wealth is a carefully constructed illusion? We're taught to focus on budgets. The real game isn't played in your bank account. It's being rigged in legislative chambers and central bank boardrooms long before you even get your paycheck. Imagine your financial future not as a path you walk, but as a river whose currents are directed by government policy. You can swim against the tide with sheer effort, or you can learn to read the water and harness its flow. This isn't about conspiracy, it's about systems. We will expose the three primary policy levers, monetary, fiscal, and regulatory, that quietly dictate the value of your labor, the returns on your investments, and the very opportunities available to you. You will finally understand why you feel financially stuck despite doing everything right. Prepare to see the entire board, not just your individual piece. This knowledge is the ultimate leverage. You know, there's a story I love about a man walking down the street who falls into a deep hole. The walls are too steep. A doctor walks by and the man yells up, "Hey, can you help me out?" The doctor writes a prescription, throws it down into the hole, and moves on. Then a priest comes by, and the man again shouts for help. The priest writes out a prayer, drops it into the hole, and walks away. Finally, a friend walks by. The man yells, "I'm stuck in this hole." His friend immediately jumps down into the hole with him. The man says, "Are you stupid? Zoom in. We're both stuck down here." And his friend replies, "Yeah, but I've been down here before, and I know the way out." That story perfectly captures how I feel about money. For years, I felt like that guy in the hole. I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I had a good job, I was saving, I wasn't drowning in debt, but I still felt trapped. The finish line for financial freedom seemed to keep moving further away, no matter how fast I ran. Sound familiar? What was I missing? I was following the standard playbook, the one we all hear. Get a good education, work hard, save 10% of your income, invest in a diversified portfolio. I was checking all the boxes. Yet, a quiet anxiety about money was my constant companion. It wasn't about being broke, it was about feeling powerless. Like my financial destiny was being shaped by invisible hands I couldn't see or understand. Then I stumbled upon a question that changed everything. It wasn't a question about which stock to pick or which savings account had the highest interest rate. It was much bigger and more fundamental. Who actually designs the game we're all forced to play? Who builds the financial hole we sometimes find ourselves in? And more importantly, who has the map to get out? This led me down a rabbit hole that completely transformed my understanding of wealth. I started looking past the bank statements and the stock tickers and began studying the rulebook itself, the one written not by Wall Street, but by governments and central banks. Think about the world you entered as an adult. You were handed a set of rules that felt permanent and unchangeable. Things like income tax, inflation, interest rates, and banking regulations. We accept them as just the way things are, the natural financial landscape. But what if I told you this landscape is not natural at all? It's engineered. Every single one of these rules was created by someone at some point in history with a specific intention. And those intentions don't always align with your personal financial well-being. Consider this. The very value of the money in your pocket is a government creation. Its stability, or lack thereof, is a direct result of monetary policy. The taxes that come out of your paycheck before you even see it were decided in a legislative chamber. The interest you earn on your savings or pay on your mortgage is heavily influenced by a small committee of people at a central bank. We spend our lives focusing on the micro-level tactics, cutting coupons, hunting for promo codes, comparing credit card rewards, while missing the monumental macro-level forces that have 1,000 times more impact on our net worth. It's like trying to bail out a boat with a teaspoon while ignoring the giant hole in the hull. This realization was my jump into the hole moment. It was uncomfortable and overwhelming at first to see how much was outside of my direct control. But it was also the beginning of true empowerment. Because once you understand how the game is designed, you can stop being a passive player and start making moves that actually work with, or even around, the system's design. You can stop fighting the current and learn to sail with the wind. That's the journey we're starting today. Why do we continue making financial decisions that contradict our own best interests, even when we possess all the necessary information? The answer lies in the silent war being waged within our own minds, a conflict between our ancient psychological wiring and the modern financial world we've built. Consider the visceral panic you feel watching your portfolio drop 10% versus the abstract satisfaction of a theoretical 7% annual return over 30 years. One triggers immediate emotional circuitry. The other requires a calm, logical patience that feels almost unnatural. This isn't a personal failing, it's a design flaw in the human operating system. Our brains evolved in a world of immediate, tangible threats and rewards. A rustle in the grass meant a predator, not a statistical probability. This hardwiring leaves us profoundly ill-equipped for the delayed gratification and probabilistic nature of modern finance. The field of neuroeconomics has illuminated this beautifully. Brain scans show that the prospect of a financial loss activates the same primal neural pathways, the amygdala and insula, as a physical threat. Your brain isn't just being dramatic, it genuinely perceives a market downturn as a danger to your survival. This is the biological bedrock of loss aversion, the well-documented phenomenon where the pain of losing $100 is psychologically about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining the same amount. A rational actor would weigh them equally, but we are not rational actors. We are emotional beings who sometimes rationalize. This primal fear system is constantly being hijacked by a financial media ecosystem that thrives on our anxiety. The 24-hour news cycle doesn't profit from calm, long-term perspectives. It profits from fear and greed, the two most potent drivers of human action. Every market dip is framed as a potential catastrophe, every rally as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This constant barrage of amplified signals creates a cognitive environment where noise is mistaken for signal, and the long-term trend, the most important story, is completely drowned out. You are swimming in an ocean of data, but most of it is financial pollution designed to trigger a reaction, not encourage thoughtful reflection. Simultaneously, our tendency towards social comparison, a trait that once helped us navigate tribal hierarchies, becomes a destructive force in a globally connected world. Scrolling through curated highlight reels of other people's apparent financial success on social media creates a relentless sense of relative deprivation. It doesn't matter that you're objectively doing well. If your peer seems to be doing better, your brain registers it as a threat. This fuels impulsive, get-rich-quick mentalities and leads people to abandon sound, boring investment strategies in favor of speculative frenzies, simply to keep up with a manufactured perception. Chasing the phantom of social validation is a sure path to financial ruin. Then there is the battle between your present and future self. Neurologically, your brain treats your future self more like a stranger than as you. When you choose to spend money today instead of saving for retirement, it's not just a lapse in willpower. fMRI studies reveal that thinking about our future selves activates brain regions associated with thinking about other people. The connection is weak. This explains why we so easily mortgage our future comfort for present convenience. We are, in a very real sense, making a decision that harms someone else. Overcoming this requires a profound act of empathy and identity. We must learn to see our future self not as a distant stranger, but as the person we are actively building with every choice we make today. Compounding this internal conflict is the sheer overwhelming complexity of the financial landscape. Choice paralysis is a well-documented psychological reality. Faced with 20 nearly identical index funds or 50 different health insurance plans, the cognitive load becomes so high that our brains default to the path of least resistance, doing nothing or making a random, suboptimal choice. This inertia is a goldmine for financial institutions that benefit from your passive acceptance of high fees or low-yield savings accounts. The system is often structured to confuse you into inaction, because your inaction is someone else's profit. We are all navigating this gauntlet with a brain that sees danger in volatility, opportunity in hype, and a stranger in the mirror of our future. The conflict is not a fair fight. It's a battle against millions of years of evolutionary programming, amplified by modern systems that are expertly designed to exploit it. Understanding these pressure points is the first step toward building a defense.
Imagine a world where every financial decision you make, from the coffee you buy to the house you mortgage, isn't really your decision at all. What if the entire economic landscape you navigate was deliberately, meticulously designed by forces you never see? This isn't a conspiracy. It's the quiet architecture of modern governance. Governments don't just tax and spend. They engineer the very psychological environment in which you relate to money. Consider the humble interest rate. We treat it as this neutral, mathematical fact of life, like gravity. But behind that percentage point lies a profound psychological lever. When central banks drop rates to near zero, they aren't just making borrowing cheaper. They are performing a mass psychological experiment on an entire population. They are deliberately making saving feel pointless and debt feel irresistible. They are manipulating your sense of time, pushing you to live for the present because the future payoff for patience has been artificially erased. The message is no longer subliminal. It's encoded directly into the cost of capital. Your impulse to take that car loan or max out that credit card, that feeling of now or never, it was, in part, manufactured for you. Real talk. Look at the tax code. It's not merely a system for raising revenue. It's a sprawling, complex document that serves as a behavioral nudge on a national scale. Every deduction, every credit, is a financial suggestion whispered in your ear by the state. The government wants you to buy a house, so it dangles the mortgage interest deduction. It wants you to save for retirement, so it offers tax-deferred accounts. Your financial life becomes a series of choices made in response to these incentives, a path of least resistance paved by policy. You believe you're building wealth independently, but you're often just following a state-sponsored blueprint. And what about inflation? We measure it in percentages, but we experience it as a slow, creeping anxiety. It's the silent thief that doesn't just steal your purchasing power. It corrodes your long-term thinking. When governments run the printing presses, they are not only devaluing currency, they are devaluing the future itself. They force you out of safe, long-term assets and into a desperate, speculative scramble for yield. The system subtly encourages you to become a gambler rather than a builder, to focus on quick flips over generational wealth. This isn't an accident. A population focused on short-term survival is far less likely to challenge the fundamental structures of power. Then there is the most powerful tool of all, the creation of money itself. For centuries, money was a physical thing, a gold coin, a silver certificate, something with intrinsic value outside the system that created it. Today, it is pure information, a digital entry backed solely by collective faith in the government that issues it. This transition is the greatest psychological coup in financial history. Your entire concept of value is now anchored to a promise, a fiction that only holds as long as everyone agrees to believe in it. Your labor, your savings, your net worth, it all exists within a shared dream that the state actively manages and defends. The moment that faith evaporates, the dream collapses. We are all living inside a financial matrix, its rules written by unseen hands. Your ambition, your fears, your definition of security, These feel deeply personal, but they are shaped by a system with its own survival and stability as the primary goal. The freedom you feel is real, but it is a freedom exercised within a very carefully constructed cage. Understanding this is the first step toward genuine financial sovereignty. It's the moment you stop being a mere player in the game and start to see the game itself, the board, the rules, and the hands that move the pieces. Imagine a world where your paycheck automatically invested 10% of itself before you ever saw the money. That's the power of system design. Sarah, a 42-year-old administrative assistant, had struggled with saving for 2 decades. She'd read all the books, knew she should be investing, but the money always seemed to vanish. Then her state rolled out an auto-enrollment retirement program. The default contribution was 5% of her salary. She never filled out a form, never made an active decision. The system simply started working for her. Within 3 years, she had over $15,000 saved, money she'd never missed. Her financial destiny was quietly, powerfully rewritten by a single policy choice made in a distant Capitol building. This isn't magic. It's applied behavioral economics. What if your biggest financial windfall arrived not as a lump sum, but as a steady, predictable stream? That's the principle behind tax-advantaged accounts, and it's a tool you can wield starting today. Consider the story of David and Maria, a couple in their late 30s. They were diligent savers but overwhelmed by the complexity of investment choices. Their breakthrough came not from picking a hot stock, but from understanding the government's incentives. They maximized their contributions to their 401ks and IRAs, not just for the tax deduction today, but for the decades of tax-deferred growth ahead. They realized the government was offering them a partnership. You save for your own future, and we'll delay taking our cut, allowing your money to compound exponentially faster. Last year, their combined retirement accounts crossed the $500,000 mark. Their secret wasn't a higher income. It was a smarter alignment with the financial plumbing the government had already built for them. Zoom in. Pivot to the cautionary tale of student loans. Think of them not as simple debt, but as a long-term contract with the federal government, a contract with terms that can change with the stroke of a presidential pen. Jessica graduated with $80,000 in federal student debt, banking on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. For 10 years, she worked in a qualifying job, making payments based on a specific set of rules. Then, the political winds shifted. New interpretations of the rules threatened to disqualify thousands of applicants, including her. Her financial future, which she had meticulously planned for a decade, was suddenly held hostage by a policy debate. Her story is a stark reminder that when you plug your life into a government financial program, you are tying your fate to political volatility. Your financial plan must be robust enough to withstand these external shocks. How can you use this knowledge to build a moat around your own wealth? Start by auditing your financial life for these invisible government handrails. Are you defaulted into a low-yield savings account, or have you actively sought out higher-yielding government-backed instruments like treasury bills or I-bonds? Are you leaving free money on the table by not claiming all eligible tax credits for which you qualify, from the saver's credit for retirement contributions to education credits? The most financially successful people aren't just earning more. They are masters of navigating and optimizing the fiscal landscape created for them. They treat the tax code not as an enemy to be defeated, but as a complex instruction manual for building wealth. Finally, we could look at the ultimate long game: Social Security. Many view it as a simple safety net, but it's one of the most powerful annuities ever created. Its value is profoundly shaped by your decisions, and crucially, by the government's solvency. A 55-year-old named Robert ran the numbers. By delaying his benefits from age 67 to 70, he could increase his monthly payment by nearly 25%, a guaranteed inflation-adjusted raise for life, backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. That single decision A strategic delay could add over $100,000 to his lifetime benefits. His story demonstrates that the most powerful financial moves are often not about chasing returns, but about understanding and leveraging the long-term promises embedded within the system itself. Your financial destiny isn't just in your hands. It's in the subtle, often overlooked interplay between your choices and the architecture of the state. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads where every path represents a different financial future. One leads to the life you've dreamed of. Which would you choose? Most people drift down the default path without realizing a map exists. We're about to draw that map together, starting with the single most powerful financial decision you can make. Strange but true, you must identify your personal financial gravity, the invisible force pulling your money towards certain outcomes. For some, it's the gravitational pull of consumer debt. For others, it's the relentless orbit of lifestyle inflation. Picture your last major purchase. Was it pulled by genuine need or by the atmosphere of expectation around you? Recognizing this force is like discovering you've been reading a map upside down. Suddenly, the terrain makes sense. You'll need to track every financial move for 30 days, not to judge, but to observe the hidden currents directing your money. Next, architect your counter-strategy against the government's default settings. Tax codes, inflation targets, and monetary policies aren't abstract concepts. They're weather systems shaping your financial climate. Are you building a shelter or standing in the rain? The most successful wealth builders don't just react to these systems, they design structures that thrive within them. This means deliberately positioning your income, investments, and assets in alignment with long-term policy trajectories rather than fighting against the tide. Think like a farmer planting crops for a climate you can already see forming on the horizon. Strange but true. Implement what I call the sovereign account protocol, 3 distinct financial territories under your command. Your fortress account protects your survival minimum. Your growth account cultivates future abundance, and your freedom account funds your present joy. Why 3? Because singular accounts create singular points of failure, while multiple territories create resilience. When economic winds shift, and they always do, you'll have protected soil to retreat to and fertile ground to advance from. This isn't just budgeting, it's building your own internal economy. Finally, establish your quarterly financial summit, a sacred space where you audit, adjust, and advance your position. Most people review finances only during tax season or crises, like checking the map only after getting lost. Instead, mark your calendar for deliberate financial governance. What worked? What didn't? How has the landscape changed? These strategic pauses transform money management from reactive scrambling to conscious stewardship. You stop being a passenger in your financial life and become its architect, responding to change with intention rather than panic. The system wants you to believe finance is complicated because dependence thrives in confusion. But complexity often disguises simple patterns. Your financial sovereignty isn't found in following someone else's rules. It's built by understanding the game enough to create your own. And so, here we are at the end of our journey through the invisible architecture of your financial life. You came here wondering why your money situation feels so predetermined, and now you understand the hidden hands at work. But here's the beautiful, terrifying, and ultimately empowering truth. Awareness is the first step toward freedom. The system may be designed to keep you in your lane, but you now possess the map to navigate beyond its boundaries. Think about that for a moment. You are no longer an unknowing passenger on this economic train, just hoping it goes somewhere nice. You're in the conductor's cab, learning the levers and the switches. Does that mean the ride will suddenly be smooth? Absolutely not. There will still be bumps, unexpected delays, and moments you question the entire route. But you are no longer just staring out the window, confused by the scenery. You are actively participating in the journey. Remember that feeling of helplessness we talked about at the beginning? That gnawing sense that your financial destiny was written by someone else? I want you to take that feeling, ball it up, and throw it away. It's useless to you now. In its place, plant a single, powerful question. What will I build with this new understanding? Will you be the person who complains about the game, or the one who learns to play it so well you can change the rules for yourself and those you love? This isn't just about getting a slightly better interest rate or finding a clever tax loophole. This is about reclaiming a piece of your own future. It's about looking at a news headline about monetary policy and not feeling a wave of anxiety, but a spark of strategic recognition. It's about making choices from a place of knowledge, not fear. The most profound wealth you can build isn't just in your bank account. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing how the world truly works. Another angle, go forth. Be a little more curious, a little more skeptical, and a whole lot more intentional. The machinery of money is vast and complex, but you are not powerless against it. You are now armed. Use that power wisely. Build a life that is truly, authentically, and financially yours.